that elementary portion length we have taken as ds, and that portion is located s distance from the receiving end. ZR is the receiving end impedance, IR is the receiving end current, and ER is the receiving end voltage. Okay. And at the elemental section, the voltage drop is E and the current is I. From the sending end, at the sending end voltage is ES and the sending end current is IS. Okay, this elemental section is having series impedance ZDS and series shunt admittance YDS. Okay, so with that we started, and we have written the equation for DE and DI for the elemental section, and those differential equations we have solved. Okay, so while solving we got E equal to this expression, E equal to A e power root ZYS plus B e power minus root ZYS, and I equal to C e power root ZYS plus D e power minus ZYS. E power minus root ZYS, isn't it? This is what we got. And we here the arbitrary constants A, B, C, D, those values we need to find. So in these equations, we applied the conditions which we know. Okay, so S is the distance from the receiving end to the point we consider. So in case if we shift the point to the receiving end, then the S value will be 0. So if we substitute S as 0 in this equation, we get I as IR and E as ER. Okay, sorry. At the receiving end, I is IR, E is ER. So if we substitute these conditions in equation 14 and 15, we get ER equal to A plus B, IR equal to C plus D. Okay, another set of conditions are not available. So we are differentiating these equations and applying the condition again. So that time we are getting these expressions. Okay, IR, ER in relation to ABCD, we will be getting like this. Now we have 4 equations and 4 unknown. Solving these, we get the expression for ABCD. Okay, so these are the expression for ABCD. So if we substitute in E and I equation, we get the solution, general solution of a transmission line, this form. Okay, the solution can be written in many different ways, and this is one form, and it can be regrouped and written in this form also. Similarly, it will take the other form, the fourth form. Okay, there are 4 or 5 different ways we can write the solution of a transmission line by regrouping it. Is it clear to you up to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Ma'am, what was Z naught?
Z naught is characteristic impedance of a transmission line.
Okay. Like, what is its significance?
So it will tell that the line impedance. Okay, it will tell the characteristics in terms of impedance. Every transmission line will be having some impedance value that we will get to know from this Z naught value.
Okay.
See, initially we started with the equivalent circuit of a transmission line, RLCG, okay, were present on the transmission line. Those are called primary constants. The primary constants are related to the secondary constants. Okay, that also we have seen. So the Z naught and nu, that is the Z naught and the propagation constant are the secondary constants which we get from the primary constant values. Okay, if we know primary constant, we can find the secondary constants, or if we know the secondary constants, we can find the primary constants. That relation also we have seen, and we solved the problem also. Okay, now
Yes,
we are going to take this equation. Okay, We are going to take this equation 25 and 26 and we are going to find the ratio. Yeah, find the ratio and we want to find the sending end impedance. So sending end impedance will be the ratio between sending end voltage to sending end current. So ES divided by IS. Okay, those can be found using this 6.25 and 26. See, if this is E and this is I expression. If this E must be equal to ES means what should be the value of S? What is
L.
S? Yeah, L. Okay, S is the distance from the receiving end to the point we consider. In case if we consider the sending end point, then the S value must be L. Okay, so ES can be written as ER cos H root ZY L plus IR Z naught sin H root ZY L divided by IR cos H root ZYL plus ER divided by Z naught sin H root ZYL. See, this ER can be written as ZRIR. Here also ER can be written as ZRIR. So in all the four terms, IR is present, that can be cancelled out. Okay, then the equation will be simplified to the next form, ZR cos H nu L. Okay, consider that I am taking out cos H nu L from the numerator and denominator plus Z naught and sin by cos will be tan H root ZY L divided by, and cos is removed, 1 plus ZR by Z naught, sin by cos is tan H root ZYL. Okay, so here in denominator ZR by Z naught we have, so this can be written as Z naught multiplied with ZR plus Z naught tan H root ZYL divided by Z naught plus ZR tan H root ZYL. Is it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now we are going to find, this is the expression for the sending end impedance. Okay, sending end impedance. If we want to find the sending end impedance, that is for infinite length of a line. Infinite length of the line, L tends to infinity. Okay, so what will happen? What is tan H infinity value?
1.
Tan H infinity, yes, tan H infinity is 1. So Z naught multiplied with ZR plus Z naught divided by Z naught plus ZR. These are cancelling. So sending end impedance is equal to Z naught. Okay. So is it clear to you? If the length of the line is infinity, then the input impedance measured for the line will be equal to Z naught, characteristic impedance of the line. This is one conclusion we need to know. Then next, okay, while discussing yesterday, okay, here while editing, I forgot to remove this IR term. Okay, so if IR term actually just now we have seen IR is IR present in all the four terms were cancelled out. Okay. So while editing, I forgot to remove this. That was the mistake. Okay. Next, another thing we have seen yesterday is that if ZR is equal to Z naught, okay, ZR equal to Z naught, then how the input impedance of the line will be? What is ZR? ZR is the receiving in impedance. If we terminate it with the value of characteristic impedance Z naught, then how the relation will be simplified to
Z is equal to Z naught.
Z is equal to Z naught. Okay, this also we need to remember. Okay, Z is equal to Z naught. So we are seeing two different approaches, and we are understanding if the line is terminated with Z naught, okay, then the input impedance measured for the line is equal to Z naught. And if the line is in infinite length, that time also input impedance is Z naught. Okay, so practically infinite length of a line is not possible. Okay, see here, line, it is the signal is going. Okay, in case, okay, at the end, if there are some mismatches, then some of the signal may, what will have, some of the signal get reflected and come to the source. Okay, but as the case of infinite line, if the line is of infinite length, will the reflected signal reach the source? The length is so huge. Before that, it will get attenuated, isn't it? For the infinite length of the line, the reflected signal will not reach the source, isn't it? For the infinite length of line, before that it will be decreasing in magnitude, and there will not be any significance, isn't it? So what we want is infinite length, but practically the transmission line length are finite. Okay, practically the transmission line length are finite. So how will we realize the infinite length? Can anyone tell? We have finite length. Okay, but infinite line is behaving good. Because reflected signal will not reach the source. How will we realize it that? Just now we have seen two conclusions. No. Relating to that, you tell me.
What's the question, ma'am? How do we
realize the finite line to behave as infinite line?
You can use optical fiber so that signal is not lost.
Okay.
Ma'am, we'll keep
The
ZR as Z naught.
Good. Yes. Okay. So just now we have seen the input impedance of a transmission line is Z naught for infinite length of line. Okay, we want to realize that. And another case we have seen, input impedance of a line is Z naught if ZR equal to Z naught for a finite length of a line. Okay. So if the finite length of the line is terminated with Z naught, then the line can be considered as of infinite line. Clear? If a finite length transmission line is terminated in its characteristic impedance, that will be equivalent to infinite length line. That way we can realize. Because the impedance measured for the line, both the lines are coming same, isn't it? For infinite line, the input impedance is Z0. For a finite line terminated with Z0 impedance, also Z0, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the infinite length can be realized during finite length, provided the in line is terminated with its characteristic impedance.
Ma'am, why do we want Zs to be equal to Z0?
No, Zs is the input impedance we are measuring. Okay, we don't want, we are measuring the input impedance for a transmission line. Okay, so input impedance for a transmission line we calculate that is coming equal to Z0 for an infinite line. Okay, for an infinite transmission line we are getting the input impedance of a transmission line as Z0.
Yes, ma'am.
And
why do
the
we want
infinite
that to happen? Like, we can't do
no,
infinite
for the
length,
infinite
so we
length,
did-
see, for the yes, for see the signal is transmitted, signal is going, but at the end there will be some reflections. Okay, the reflections will not reach the source for the infinite line. So ideally we want the line to behave as infinite line, but that is not possible. For finite line, if we terminate with the characteristic impedance, that is behaving as infinite line. Okay, the behavior of finite line terminated with its characteristic impedance
Ma'am,
is
your voice
equal
is
to
very-
infinite line. Okay. See, I am repeating. See, finite line terminated with its characteristic impedance Z0 is
Yes,
behaving like an infinite line. Okay, is
Yes.
behaving like an infinite line. And just now, first we have seen that we have taken the length of the line as infinite. Okay, length of the line as infinite, Zs. Okay, Zs, if we measure, we got Z0. Okay, consider we are removing some portion of a line in the infinite line. So after that also, what will be the length of the line? Infinite. If we remove some portion also,
Infinite.
infinite only, no, infinite only. So input impedance is Z0 only. Consider in the infinite line we keep only the some portion, and the infinite line impedance Z0 is present here. Okay, so this way also we can say that the line, finite line terminated in its characteristic impedance will behave as infinite line. Just now we proved using equation. Through understanding of the infinite line also we can say finite line terminated in its characteristic line impedance Z0 will behave as infinite line. See, for the infinite line, the input impedance is Z0. Okay, afterwards we remove some portion of a line, and that time also the line is infinite length. So the input impedance is that time if we may measure Z0. Okay, so here you are removing most portion of the infinite line. You are keeping only the finite length. So what will be the impedance present, input impedance present for this infinite length of a line? This infinite length of the line, input impedance present will be Z0. So this portion of a line is the finite length. So this finite length line terminated in its characteristic impedance Z0 will behave as infinite line. This point you need to remember. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
See, we
But
have
is there
seen
any-
the proof using. Yes.
Is there any use of having Zs equal to Z0?
No, we are not making Zs equal to Z0. We are getting Zs as Z0.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the infinite line, we are getting Zs as Z0. And for the finite line terminated with Z naught, we are getting Z as Z naught. Okay. So other in the classes, you will be understanding why Z is equal to Z naught. Okay. So right now you understand we are getting Z as Z naught for infinite length as well as finite length terminated with Z. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we are taking the expression for voltage and current. Okay. This is the voltage and current equation for a pole of an infinite line or a finite line terminated in its characteristic impedance zeta equal to Z naught. So that these equations reduce to, okay, the equations can be reduced to E equal to ER e power us, I equal to IR e power us. These terms will be zeta equal to Z naught. So this term will cancel. It will be cancelled, isn't it? Zeta equal to Z naught. Then zeta equal to Z naught. So zeta plus Z naught, Z naught. So 2 Z naught, 2 Z naught, 2 Z naught cancel. So we get E equal to ER e power us, I equal to IR e power us. See, we derived the general solution for a transmission line. This is one expression. You remember? General solution of a transmission line can be written in 4 or 5 different ways. Okay, this is one expression. So here, if we substitute zeta equal to Z naught, what will we get? Can you substitute and tell me? So in this equation, see, I highlighted, no, this equation, you substitute zeta equal to Z naught and tell me the reduced form.
M is equal to ER e power gamma S. I is equal to IR e power gamma S.
Okay, correct. That's what equation 6.32 and 6.33. Okay, so what is S? S is the distance from the receiving end to the point we consider. Okay, to the point we consider. So yes, from ER is the receiving end voltage and IR is the receiving end current, isn't it? So as we go towards the source, what is the E and I value? Are increasing or decreasing? From this expression, you tell me. When we go towards the source, this side we have our source. Okay. When we go to, if we want to go towards source, will S value increase or decrease?
Decrease, ma'am.
Decrease.
Increase. So S value increase or decrease?
Increase number.
Increase. Everyone agrees that.
How, ma'am?
See, this is the distance from the receiving end. We are going towards the source. So if we want to go towards the source, will S increase? Yes, from the receiving end. This because that is the assumption we have taken. No, yes. So S increases. As S increases, what will happen to the value of E and I? It will exponentially
Increase.
increase. Okay. Okay. So in terms of receiving end voltage and current, if we write, we get. Okay. The same can be written in terms of sending end voltage and current also. Okay. So here Mm. So ER equal to ES.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking, ma'am.
See, this is E and I with respect to receiving end voltage and receiving end current. In terms of sending end voltage and sending end current, if we relate,
It's still breaking, ma'am.
then E will be breaking. What to do? This is to the network.
It's continuously breaking.
Okay, if it okay. Today there is no internet here. I am using mobile internet.
Maybe that's right.
Let me try one more time.
Ma'am, now it's clear, ma'am.
Okay. See, in terms of receiving and voltage and current, we have written. The same E and I, if we write in terms of sending and voltage current, okay, sending and voltage and current, the expression will be like this. Okay, in both the ways, the E and I, if we draw the graph, E, I, okay, magnitude of E, magnitude of I. If we draw the graph with respect to S, it will be like this. Okay, E and I. So if we just now we have seen as S increases, okay. As S increases, there is the voltage and current E and I was decreasing. Okay, the E and I was decreasing. As S increases, E and I was decreasing. Okay, and this is with respect to the ER, IR. Similarly, expression we can give using sending and current and voltage also. That time, this E power term will be negative. Okay, so E will be ES e power minus mu S. I will be IS e power minus mu S. See, here also we can relate. Here S is the distance from the receiving end. As S increases, okay, S increases means then e power minus nu S term will decrease, isn't it? And this is sending end voltage and sending end current. So as we proceed from the sending end towards the receiving end, the graph will be like this only. So the E and I can be related using ER, IR, using the term e power positive nu S, or using the ES-IS with the term e power negative nu S. Right? Audible?
Yes, ma'am.
And this nu is a propagation constant. You people are telling this is gamma. I am pronouncing it as nu. Okay. And we are going to use this gamma also for denoting some variable in our transmission line. So this I will be calling as gamma. And this term I am calling as nu. So E equal to ES e power minus nu S, I equal to IS e power minus nu S. And this propagation constant is the sum of attenuation constant and phase constant. So alpha plus j beta. This propagation constant is a complex number, so alpha plus j beta. So that we can substitute and we can expand the terms. Okay. And here we have ES, IS. Okay, how will we give the expression for that? Okay, so you will be studying about the signal expression in signal resistance or EMF. Okay, so ES is a sinusoidal signal. Okay, so ES naught e power j omega t. ES naught is the maximum amplitude of the signal, and e power j omega t will relate the phase. Okay, this is this signal. Okay, that signal we denote using this expression ES naught e power j omega t, and IS 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 naught e power j omega t. Okay, what is T? T is relating us to the time, and S is relating us to the distance though. So the E and I are depending on both time and distance. Okay, for that, if we draw the phase diagram with respect to some particular instant, we will get the wave like this. This is consider this is for time t1. Okay, and the entire wave is divided into 8 sections. Okay, we are considering for 1/8 of a wavelength. Okay, so this is the wave at time instant t1. After one instant t2, what will happen? See, this is for T1 after 1/8 wavelength distance. Okay, after that time. Okay, consider the time that time. This waveform will be progressing. Okay, will be moving. So whatever is there for 0, this 0 will be advanced to 1/8 wavelength. Similarly, this point will also advance to 1/8 wavelength. That way it is advancing. Okay, it will be moving. So the wave is depending on both time and distance. Okay, and the source is continuously sending the signal. So whatever is the next wave, okay, next generated signal will come here. This is the newly generated signal. Okay, this is how wave is going on the transmission line. Okay, it depends on both time and distance. And this is the graph just now we discussed. ES or IS with respect to distance. Yes, if we draw, okay, that is E and I expression with respect to distance. If we draw, it will be like this. Okay. That's see, the wave depends on both time and distance. So here the diagram A denotes the voltage phasors. Voltage phasors at 1/8 wavelength points along a line at a particular time instant. B shows a plot of the phasors of A. Okay, this is the phasors of the voltage. Okay, if we do the plot for with respect to distance, we will be getting like this at instant time t1. Okay, then showing voltage on the line for this C denotes voltage phasors 1/8 of a cycle later than A. Okay, after 1/8 later, what will happen? This is rotating. Okay, this is the angular representation. Okay, with respect angular representation we can give, as well as in the longitudinal distance wise the representation also we can give. Okay, this is for time t1. At time t2, it is here E1. This E1 will move to that this place, and this E8 will move to this place. E7 will move to E6 place. E6 will move to E5 place. E5 will move to E4 place. E4 will move to E3 place. That way it is changing. Okay, so that plot if we draw, okay, for the length of the line, that will be like this. Doubt? See the rider book scanned copy, I will mail you. You go through that, and while we discuss in the class as well as after, while you go through, you are going through, you take notes. Okay. At some time, I will be asking you to send the scanned copy of your notes. Shall we proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we are going to see about equivalent circuit of a transmission line. Okay, just we have seen equivalent circuit of a transmission line in previous classes also. Okay. The line can be drawn, and what we have seen already is that the line can be equivalently drawn using RLCG components. Okay, R, L, C, G. So this is for per unit length of a transmission line. Okay. See, we want to know the values of these parameters. How will we do that? Okay, we should find out some mechanism for that, isn't it? For that, the T equivalent or pi equivalent of a transmission line will help us. Okay, that is why we are going to find the relation T equivalent and pi equivalent of a transmission line. See, in network theory, you are studying about the T section of T section network, pi section network. Okay, here we have this network. Okay, this is for only for one section. It will be repeated for all along the length of the line. This is only for unit length. Okay, so entire transmission line length, you see, it will be repeating. Okay, so these can be symmetrically drawn in this way also, without having mention about R and L. Okay, simply we can draw the section as symmetrically like this. Z1, Z2 are present on the series arm, Z3 as shunt arm. Okay, this way we are taking. Okay, so leave about this circuit. Okay, at the end we will discuss again the concept. Okay, now we consider the T equivalent of a circuit. Okay, so consider this Z1, Z2 are present in the series arm, Z3 is in the shunt arm, and it is resembling the letter T, so T equivalent. Okay, for a transmission line, we are going to find what are the values for Z1, Z2, Z3. And we are considering the line as symmetrical. Okay, so that part we will go to, we will take while discussing. See, impedance measurements may be made at any port with the other port opened or shorted. And we are considering Z1OC be the impedance at port 1 when port 2 is open circuited. Okay, Z1 OC. OC denotes the open circuited impedance. Which port is open circuited? Port 2 is open circuited. Z1 OC be the impedance at port 1 when port 2 is open circuited. Similarly, Z1 SC is the impedance at port 1 when port 2 is short circuited. Z2 OC is the impedance at port 2 when port 1 is open circuited. Z2 SC is the impedance at port 2 when port 1 is short circuited. Okay, we are giving these notations for open circuited, short circuited impedances of port 1, port 2. See, consider this section, this T section. In case if port 2 is open circuited, this is open circuited. Okay, and you are measuring the input impedance here. Okay, you are measuring the impedance. What will you get? What will happen? This Z2, this is open circuited impedance. Okay, infinity. So this part will not be there. So these two will come in series. So Z1 OC will be Z1 plus Z3. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And if the port 2 is short circuited, how will we write? Consider this portion is short circuited. This portion is short circuited. You are measuring the input impedance. So how will it be? This Z2 will be in parallel to Z3 and this will be in series with Z1. Okay. So that time we will be writing the impedance as the input impedance for the port 2 short circuited. Okay. If we measure from the port 1, that impedance will be Z1 plus Z2 Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3. Okay, because Z2 and Z3 are parallel, so that impedance is Z2 Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3, and combination is coming in series with Z1. So Z1 SC will be Z1 plus Z2 Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3. Similarly, we need to write for Z2 OC and Z2 SC by considering the port 1 as open circuited or short circuited. Okay, similar process we repeat. Okay. So instead of measuring here, we measure here. We measure here. Okay. Then Z2. If this port is open circuited, OC. If this port is short circuited, SC. Okay. If it is open circuited, then Z1 will not come. Z2, Z3 will be in series. So Z2 plus Z3. And Z2 SC will be Z2 plus Z1 Z3 divided by Z1 plus Z3. Okay. Is this clear to you? 4 equations.
Z1 OC is impedance at 1 if it is open circuited, no?
Port 2 is open circuited.
Oh, okay. So Z2 OC is when port 1 is open circuited.
Yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, we have written the equations for open circuited and short circuited impedances in relation with the T equivalent of a line. T equivalent of a line. So, we need to solve these equations to get the expression for Z1, Z2, Z3. Okay. So you can follow any method. Finally, we want to write Z1, Z2, Z3 in terms of open circuited and short circuited impedances. Whichever method is convenient for you, whichever way you want to derive, you do it. Okay. Here we are following one method. See Z1 SC minus Z1 OC minus Z1 SC. If we calculate, okay, if we calculate this, okay, we are subtracting this from here. So we get this expression and then rearranging, cancelling, we get Z3 squared divided by Z2 OC. So Z3 can be written as plus or minus root of Z2 OC with Z1 OC minus Z1 SC. So now we got Z3 expression only in terms of open or short circuited impedances. Similarly, Z2, okay, Z2 can be written as Z2OC minus Z3. We already found the expression for Z3, so we can substitute. And same way, we are writing the expression for Z1 also. Okay, Z1 also. Then Z2. So now we got Z1, Z2, Z3 in terms of either open circuited or short circuited, both the combinations. Only in terms of open and short circuited impedances. Okay. Now we want to know what is the input impedance of a transmission line. If it is open circuited or if it is short circuited. How will we find that? Any idea? We want input impedance of a transmission line, input impedance of a open circuited transmission line, and also input impedance of a short circuited transmission line. Do we have we seen any formula for that? Input impedance of a transmission line? Input impedance of a transmission line, did we derive? What about this equation? This is, what is this?
Input impedance.
Input impedance. Okay. So if the line is open circuited, what is ZR value? What is ZR value for open circuited? Infinite. And for short circuited, ZR is?
0.
0. Okay. So can you substitute ZR 0 and find out what is the short circuited impedance? Short circuited transmission line impedance? ZR 0. What we get?
Sin H nu L by cos H nu L.
Yes, Z0 is
So
also
tan-
there.
tan
now.
H.
Z0 tan H nu L. Fine. And for open circuited?
Z naught into no, it's infinity, I guess.
That way we should not do, because in both numerator denominator the terms are present, it will not be indefinite. Okay, so we can take the term outside. ZR is going infinity, ZR can be taken out and cancelled first. Okay, I am taking ZR outside from the numerator and denominator. So cos H nu L plus Z0 divided by ZR sin H nu L divided by Z0 divided by ZR cos H nu L plus ZR is taken outside, so sin H nu L. Okay, so this time ZR cancels, and now you need to substitute infinity. So what will you get?
Z naught
And by
into cot
infinity.
H nu L.
Yeah, Z0 H nu L. That is for open circuited impedance. So these things we are going to apply in this equation. So for open circuited, it is Z0 cot H nu L, and for short circuited, it is Z0 tan H nu L. Okay. So Z1 OC will be Z0 divided by tan H nu L. Z1 SC will be Z0 tan H nu L. Okay. And this can be, this tan H can be expanded in terms of e power. Okay, e power term, e power nu L terms, e power theta terms. That way also we can relate. Then later, substituting those. Okay, Z for ZOC, ZSC. Okay, substituting those. Then we get the expression for Z3, Z1, Z2, a simplified expression we will be getting. Okay. Now we have written Z1 was is that is the equivalent as T equivalent Z1, Z2, Z3 only in terms of open circuited or short circuited. Then for open circuited and short circuited, what is the input impedance? We are finding and substituting. Afterwards, we are simplifying. Okay, Z2OC. So this is open circuited. So Z0 by tan H neural, and Z1OC also open circuited impedance. So Z0 by tan H neural. And both we are taking equal because we are considering the symmetrical section. Okay, we are considering the network as symmetrical. So Z2OC will be equal to Z1OC. That's why we are writing Z0 by tan H neural, and for Z1OC also Z0 by tan H neural minus, and short circuited impedance is Z0 tan H neural, and we are simplifying this, and we are getting Z3 as Z0 divided by sin H neural, and we are considering the network is symmetrical. So Z1 equal to Z2. Substituting the elements, we get Z1 equal to Z2 equal to Z0 tan H nu L by 2. Okay. So we started with Z1, Z2, Z3 as T section. Z1, Z2, Z3. Now we found the expression for Z1, Z2, Z3 in terms of secondary constants of a transmission line. So Z1 is Z0 tan H nu L by 2. Z2 is Z0 tan H nu L by 2. Z3 is Z0 divided by sin H nu L. Okay, this is what we got. So I will keep the slide for 5 minutes. You go through, and the doubt I will answer. Okay.
Ma'am, we can't see the slide.
Are you going through, students? T equivalent of a transmission line, we started with Z1, Z2, Z3, and we related with open circuited, short circuited impedances. Then finally, we derived the relation in terms of secondary constants of a line. Is it clear? Students? Am I audible?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
clear.
Okay. See the related material, I will mail you. You go through that, and if anywhere you get doubt, you email me or WhatsApp me. Okay. So this is for teacher line. Yes. Tell me.
No, ma'am. I said okay, ma'am.
Okay. And we can also draw pi equivalent for a line, pi equivalent for a network, or pi equivalent for a line. So we can, here we are drawing the pi equivalent of a line. We consider ZB, ZA, ZC, ZA, ZB, ZC are the pi impedances. Okay. So this also can be, okay, using this also we can find the expression for values for ZA, expressions for ZA, ZB, ZC in terms of secondary constant by following the short circuited and open circuited impedances. Okay, short circuited, open circuited impedances we can do. Okay, so if you do that, okay, this I am giving as practice to you. You do that, and finally you will be getting this answer. Okay, this exercise, do it next class. I may ask any one of you to present it. You derive it, take a photo and keep with you. And next class you have to present. And another thing we get from this relation. Is the word visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. ZOC we are writing as Z0 cot H nu L. And ZSC we get Z0 tan H nu L. From this, can you find Z0 in terms of open or short circuited impedance? What is Z0?
Root of open impedance and short.
Good, good. So root of open circuited impedance multiplied with short circuited impedance. Then how will we write for nu? So initially we write for nu. Okay, we do this way also. ZOC by ZAC. Z0 will be cancelled. Then we get cot H nu L squared, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Then or it will be ZSC by ZOC tan H nu L. So it is up to us in which way you write. And so nu L can be written as tan H inverse of square root of ZSC by ZOC. And if we are interested only in, okay, we are interested in only the primary as a secondary constant. So this L can be taken to the denominator. L can be taken to the denominator like this. Okay, so this is the expression for propagation constant. See, now using the short circuited and open circuited impedances, we will be able to find the secondary constants of a line. Okay, because practically measuring the RLCG value will be difficult. Okay, but if we go with this open circuited, short circuited impedances method, in first we will be able to get the secondary constant Z0 and the propagation constant. And what is the relation with the primary constant Z0? How will you write? Z0 is root
ZOC into ZSC.
Z0 in relation to series impedance and shunt admittance, root of Z by Y, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
See, Z is R plus J omega and Y is C plus G plus J omega C. Okay, so using open circuited, short circuited impedance, we will be able to get the Z naught and propagation constant. And using this relation, okay, and what is propagation constant? Root zy. So root zy is r plus j omega L multiplied with g plus j omega c. Okay. So how will we get r plus j omega? We want r plus j omega L. So what we have to do for Z naught and propagation constant? By simply multiplication or division? R and L in terms of Z naught, how will we get? By multiplying, isn't it? If we multiply these two, we get. So Z naught multiplied with propagation constant will give us r plus j omega L. So if we multiply these two, that will be a complex number. Equating the real part, we get r, and equating the imaginary, we get omega L. Omega is 2 pi f. Then we need to divide the imaginary part will value by 2 pi f to get L value. G plus C omega G. G plus C omega G we want. So what we have to do? We need to divide propagation constant divided by Z naught. Isn't it? Then we get G plus J omega C, and this will be a complex number. Real part will give us G, imaginary part will give us omega C. Right? Is it right, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So relating to this, you need one problem. Okay, you need to solve a problem. For that, these are the variables. You take it down, and the answer we will discuss in next class. See, the length of the line is 50 kilometer. Frequency of the signal is 700 hertz. Open circuited impedance is 286 angle minus 40 degree. Short circuited impedance is 1520 angle 16 degrees. Okay, you note down this, and you need to find, initially you need to find Z naught and propagation constant. So you know the expression for Z naught. Okay. Z naught is square root of ZOC, ZSC. So ZOC, ZC are given, so you can calculate Z naught. Then propagation constant is 1 by L tan H inverse of root of ZSC by ZOC. So calculate propagation constant. Then afterwards, you need to find RLCG value. Okay, while solving this, you need to solve this tan H Newell expression. Okay, that time, while using calculator, you need to follow componendo dividendo method. Componendo dividendo method. You studied in maths?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if the ratios are like related like this, A by B equal to C by D. Okay, this is equal to A plus B divided by A minus B equal to C plus D divided by C minus D. Or even if we write A plus B by B minus A, C plus D divided by D minus C, because only the minus sign we are taking out from both the sides will cancel. Okay, so both the ways are right. So for while solving using calculator, you need to use this componendo dividendo method. Okay, so if the ratios are like A by B equal to C by D, then it will be equal to a by a plus b divided by a minus b equal to c plus d divided by c minus d, or a plus b divided by b minus a equal to c plus d divided by d minus c. Okay, this you need to use. All of you take down these values. Have it noted? Noted down? Noted down the problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that problem you solve it. We will see the answers in next class. So far we have completed the unit section of a transmission line, primary and secondary constants, general solution of a transmission line, physical significance of general solution of a transmission line, T equivalent of a transmission line, and pi equivalent is given as homework to you. Then we have seen the relation between short circuited and circuited impedances with the secondary constants, and you already know the relation between secondary constants and the primary constants. Relating to that, I have given one problem for you to solve. Any doubt? The materials today I will mail you. See, if you have any doubt, you can ask now. What about remaining people? Only 45 or 44 are present.
Ma'am, generally only 44 to 46 people will be present in the class, ma'am.
Okay, I will take attendance and send you the percentage. See, if the percentage goes below 75, that people will not be allowed for exam. Okay, if you have entered your roll number, you can leave. Thank you, students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.